Hi guys, we are back in the whiskey corner. I've had a couple of weeks off and I am ready to review another whiskey for you. Watch this little video, it'll whet your appetite and then we'll dive straight in. So, as you saw, Arran Amarone Cask Finish. I am so excited to share this review with you. I really like the tube. It's got information on, but you know when it's just everything that you need? You don't need anything else. It's not overpowering, it's not cluttered. I think it's really tastefully done. I like the colours. I like the colour of the label, the gold finish, really, really nice. There's Braille on this label. Now I'm assuming it says single malt Scotch whisky because that's what it's underneath, but who knows? They recently had a rebranding about a year ago, completely changed the bottle, completely changed the look of the label, and you know some people are nostalgic and they love the originals. I really like the new stuff. Okay, so the colour, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. It actually reminds me of the label. Looks like a similar colour, doesn't it? Obviously it's been finished in the Amarone cask, which is an Italian red wine. I'm guessing that's the influence. So yeah, very nice. Nice, deep, rich, warm colour. Already I'm excited. Okay, let's nose. My first thought is, it just noses so lovely. Everything that I'm looking forward to, I can already nose. There is definitely the wine influence. I'm getting that lovely, big, rich red fruits. You know, that. I'm thinking maybe cherries or red grapes. Really lovely, sweet, warm. The ABV is there, but there's nothing harsh about that. There's not one bit that's like going in my nose or the spirit or anything that I don't like. There's a tiny, slight little sweetness which reminds me of like icing sugar. You know, just like almost like a little dusting, but it's not an overly sweet wine. It's not making me think of sugar, but just that tiny little hint. Actually what I've got now, I feel like there's layers. I've got the fruit, I've had that little smattering of the dusting of the icing sugar, and now I've got almost like a pastry base. You know, that like buttery, sort of flaky pastry, that's kind of what I'm getting. With that nice vanilla. It could be like, you know, like a pastry that's got custard in it as well. You know those custard slices that you get, like the pastry, the custard, the pastry. It's all that lovely vanilla-y, buttery notes. But that's just sitting right underneath the fruit. Let's see if I've missed anything from earlier in the week. Not overly sweet. Oh, strawberry bonbons, that's what I said, yeah. So you can get the strawberry, the fruits, but it's not like fresh strawberries. It's almost like, do you know those strawberry bonbons? They're circles, they've got the toffee in the middle, and then they've got the powdered icing sugar, but it's pink. So that's the strawberries and the icing sugar. Yeah, I definitely get that. Or even a strawberry milkshake. It's like that artificial taste. And I put here buttery, pastry and custard. But interestingly, Aunt got powdered custard. You know, when you make it yourself and you put the spoonful of powdered custard. I didn't get that. I got the thick, creamy vanilla type that you pour out of the saucepan. It's just delicious. It smells beautiful. It just really, really makes me want to taste it. So let's move on to the taste. So the palate. So that lovely fruitiness is following through. There's a spicy tingle on my tongue, and it's a very warm whiskey. You know, there's ones that make your tongue feel really warm, but the fruits are there again. Red fruits, it tastes like maybe cherries, red grapes, that kind of sort of orchardy, maybe some apples as well. That's definitely there. But the tingle, the spices are making me think, because they're warm spices, it's making me think of like cinnamon, you know, those kind of really warm, maybe Christmassy, maybe that's what I'm thinking. You know, like a Christmas cake, you kind of get that deep flavour, that would cinnamon, maybe ginger. Feels like quite a thick whiskey. Feels quite nice, almost like treacly or syrupy. Again, that fits in with the Christmas cake, doesn't it? Let's see, what else did I put? Look, mouth-wateringly fruity, I wrote. It is. Cinnamon and ginger, like a treacle pudding, or it's giving me a Christmas feeling. Yeah, I definitely am getting that. It's like that warm, spicy tingle. It's making me think of all those sort of flavours mixed together. Slightly bitter, I wrote. Slightly bitter and deep dark brown sugar. Oh, let's see if I get the bitterness. There is a little bit. I'd say it was probably more like a very dark, high cocoa, bitter chocolate, if you know what I mean. It's not a bitter whiskey, but there is that little tang to go with the spices and the treacle and the Christmassy feeling. So this is more of a cake. Maybe the nose was almost like a light fruity pastry. This is almost like a deep, heavy, rich sort of treacly pudding or Christmas cake. Right, so the finish. Because there's so many flavours going on the palate, you almost feel like you have to get through all of those flavours, wait for them to sort of fade a little bit, and then you move into the finish. It's such a warm whiskey. That warmness just lingers, and it is still spicy, but the spiciness definitely peters off. But for me, the warmth still stays. So whether that's the ginger and the cinnamon slightly, I don't know. It is, like I've said before, a nightcap whiskey. It's utterly delicious. It's like one of those ones that you just want to sit at the end of an evening and sip and savour. But don't get me wrong, this is so Moorish. I could have this nightcap every night. You know, it's not one that I go, yeah, that's nice, I'll save it. This is a nightcap that I could have every single night. It's beautiful, beautifully warm, and probably a medium to long finish, but it just ends that lovely, nice feeling. Really, really great. So, my overall thoughts. This is a journey whiskey. The nose is completely different to the palate. The nose was all of those lovely pastry, creamy, vanilla, custardy notes. The palate was more, to me, of the warming, spicy, ginger, treacly, Christmassy feeling. But this is one of those whiskies that you would sit in the bar and you would talk about and you would enjoy it, and it could be a nightcap. But don't get me wrong, it's so utterly delicious. This is the nightcap that I could quite happily have night after night after night. It's just so full-bodied, complex, balanced, but really, really interesting. So I'm going to award this the Winter Warmer Award, because it just made me think, like I said, of a nightcap in the winter, sitting in front of the fire with a lovely blanket around me. Absolutely stunning. Thank you for watching. I have actually still got some whiskey in my glass, so that's amazing, isn't it? We hope you enjoyed our videos. If you haven't clicked the subscribe button and you'd like to, feel free. Click the bell so you get notifications when we post our new videos every Saturday morning. And thank you for watching, we really appreciate it. Just one thing left to say. Pour it, drink it, enjoy it. So for the purpose of this video, and not for my pleasure at all, I'm just going to see whether this whiskey does actually remind me of pastry and cake.